Welcome to the Field to Film podcast, sponsored by the Arkansas Soybean Promotion Board. Today we're talking with one of the newest members of the 100 Bushel Club, Taylor Burdett, who farms here in Stuttgart. The 100 Bushel Club is part of the Grow for the Green Soybean Yield Challenge, a statewide competition that celebrates high yields, spotlights innovation, and promotes best practices in soybean production. The challenge is sponsored by the Arkansas Soybean Promotion Board, administered by the Arkansas Soybean Association, and supported by the University of Arkansas Extension Services. Each year, the competition recognizes growers who produce at least 100 bushels per acre. And in 2024, Taylor reached that mark. Taylor, congrats, and thank you for having us here today.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, this is a great place, and talk about your farm a little bit. Tell us about it.
Okay, so we're a little bit smaller farm compared to most. We farm rice, corn, and soybeans, sometimes wheat, but that's been a long time ago. So we farm about 1,800 acres right now, and we do it with one full-time employee, and then we part-time employees, of course, during spring and fall when we need more help. We've got a good crew and a good family that helps out, away from here.
So what about you? How did you get into farming?
Family has always farmed. My grandpa farmed, and my dad farmed for a short stint, took another direction. But I went to college thinking I was probably gonna do something other than farm, just something in the agribusiness. During an internship up there, I realized that I really wanted to farm, so I found a way to get back into farming when I moved home. My grandpa had already retired, and there was someone else farming our ground, so I worked for the guy who was farming our ground and rented his equipment and started farming 160 acres of ours on the other side of town just to get my feet wet and learn. And I learned that it was really hard, most of all, and that the money was really hard to make, and that it was gonna take a lot more than what I anticipated to be successful. But that worked out. I did that for a year. I got a full-on first-time farmer loan that included the equipment and all that, and I was able to buy some equipment, just get started on my own little by little and grow a little year by year.
What would you say is one of the biggest factors that has contributed to your success here?
Just good help, good ground is a big part as far as the farming side of it goes, but good help who understands that all the decisions made out here are pretty important. And just having them buy into that means a lot. That's probably the biggest part.
So what led you to enter the Grow for the Green Yield Challenge?
It sounded fun, and I like growing beans. I like the progress you can see with beans. That's how I got started, was just the competition side of it. There's not a lot of stuff like that in farming, it's mostly just work, work, work. And when you can find something that's fun, that you can get involved with other farmers that aren't close to here, it makes a difference.
So you're a little competitive.
A little bit, yes. Some might say I'm competitive, yep.
So for the 2024 season, talk to us about how you went about that.
We went about it very carefully because we knew going into it that the expenses were super high, and the crop prices were low, and probably weren't gonna get any better. So we, my wife Nikki and I, we dove really deep into the finance part of it, kind of figured out where we needed to be as far as what we could control. Once we were able to do that, we kind of had a goal set, and we stayed pretty close to that, and we just treated every decision like it was our biggest decision we've ever made. That helped there, and then we were also blessed, like most farmers in this area, with good crops last year. We were all pretty fortunate with the weather we had.
So when you say you treated every decision like the biggest decision, what were some of those decisions?
Just prices, not leaving anything to chance, being prepared, having a set price for pretty well everything you're gonna do that year. That way you don't put yourself in a bind and make a bad decision.
So you were proactive on checking those boxes before anything happened?
We try to be. I mean, of course you can't plan
Right.
for everything. I mean, and we run a little older equipment, so there's always surprises there.
So were there any unexpected challenges that you came across?
Sure, we picked up some ground late. It was a tougher farm we picked up later on, closer to planting time. It kind of threw a kink in the plans, you know, and didn't know if it was the right choice or not, but just went with my gut feeling, and we just decided to do it, you know, and we're always sitting on go. We try to jump in there the first window we get, you know, and plant something. We knew we couldn't go too early. You didn't want to have to do anything twice with the expenses like they were last year, so we hit a good window. Sometimes you hit a bad window and you pay for it, but a lot of times you get in there early, you know, at least you'll have time to fix it if it was the wrong choice.
So whenever you were submitting your entry for the Grow for the Green, did you think this is going to be a winning?
I did not. I always enter it, and we've done it so long, I kind of feel like I almost got used to not achieving the 100 bushel yield. We did it, and to be honest, I knew that those beans were behind corn, so I knew they had a lot better chance than most. If anything, I really thought they were probably less than that, and they looked good, but no, I didn't anticipate that.
So when it was announced that you, in fact, were,
Sure.
what was going through your head then?
Oh, a lot was going through my head. Of course, it's the busiest time of year, but
Yeah.
it's I was ecstatic. But then it was bittersweet because it was over. You know, the chase was kind of over. It was always something that, you know, you chase. You never really thought it would happen, and then it did happen, and so you're like, now what?
Yeah, what's next?
Yeah, what's next? It was bittersweet, but super happy to achieve that goal.
And so after you won that, did you take anything you learned from that year to the next year into 2025?
I did. We learned a lot of things, you know, as every year. We learned just some stuff that we were doing with like fungicide and things like that, you know, kind of triggers a light bulb in your brain that says, maybe you can do that on some other fields or do that. So we've learned something from it every year.
And were there any other new technologies or anything of that nature that you implemented in 2024?
So, and even previous to 2024, but in 2024, we were doing split shots of our phosphate applications. We were not putting it all out up front. We were waiting and coming back, all because we didn't think that the plant was taking it all up then. And that seemed to be a big deal. But it was kind of it was a big add-on to expense, you know. So this year with the crop prices even further down, we've had to abandon that, and that could have played part in the lower yields this year.
Becoming a part of the 100 Bushel Club, what does that mean for, you know, you personally, but your family?
Sure, yeah. I mean, that's pretty well why, you know, I do everything is for my family, and I like the fact that my boys will be able to look back and see on paper some sort of proof, you know, that Daddy wasn't full of it. He was pushing to be, you know, to do better.
You put your money
pushing.
where your mouth is.
Right, yeah, I wasn't just talking. Yeah, so if they choose to go down that road, maybe they'll have a goal that they can beat, you know.
And if there's a farmer who's interested or just curious about the Grow for the Green,
it may, I can't say that it won't happen, you know, quick. It didn't happen quick for us, but keep digging, you know, and it is possible. A lot of times people they'll get the belief that it can't happen, you know, our dirt's this farm doesn't drain good, or, you know, there is a lot of truth to that, but I feel like there's a lot of truth to if you want something bad enough, you can get it. It may not be easy, but I think it's attainable.
have that persistence.
Right, yeah. It may not happen on that farm, but, you know, you'll find a way to make it happen.
Good.
It's just a great organization and a good thing to support, and they help in a lot of different ways.
Well, I really thank you for inviting us out here today, and once again, congrats.
Sure, thank you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Field to Film podcast. If you'd like to learn more about the Grow for the Green Soybean Yield Challenge, visit themiraclebean.com. You'll find contest details, best practices, and other helpful resources for Arkansas soybean producers.